Hello there. What's your name?
Juliet.
Hi, Juliet. Book says you're supposed to ask me what my name is.
That's right.
My name's Ollie, thanks for asking. Juliet, do you have any thoughts on duty free?
Great perfume. What are your thoughts on
Thank you so much. I have a lot of thoughts on duty free. Duty free is kind of cool because it's sort of the only place in the world where you can be offered to buy a 20-pack of Kinder Buenos, and that's sort of normal behaviour. If you were to be offered a 20-pack of Kinder Buenos anywhere else, you would call the police. And rightly so. And duty free is kind of weird because not only are you offered these things, you sort of get yourself thinking, well, if I did buy a 20-pack of Kinder Buenos, I wouldn't need to buy Kinder Buenos for another 6 months, really. And sort of cut to a week and a half later, I'm out of Kinder Buenos. What's annoying about duty free though is that you can only get into duty free if you've got a plane ticket, so I've been flying a lot recently. And I thought I'd give you some tips on flying. First tip, the pilot normally knows where they're going. And they're not that receptive to like tips and shortcuts and that sort of thing, so they normally just they don't really listen to me. Tip number 2, flying is a great place to make friends, is what I've learned, because you've got a lot in common with people that you're flying with. I would recommend sitting in the middle seat because then you can sort of have 2 conversations at the same time. But you've got a lot in common with people that you fly with. You're both flying from the same airport. That's great. Did they get anything from duty free? You're also flying to the same airport. Do they think it'll be the electronic passport scanners or the people? I prefer the people. It's another chance to have a conversation. Make a new friend. My final tip is, this sort of only applies to like long haul flights and that sort of thing, but you know, when you've got the little screens in the back of the seats, you can watch films and stuff. I tend to wait until someone else has started watching a film, the person beside me has started watching a film, and I'll pick the same film as them, like scrub up to rinse time, because people with friends watch films together. What's handy about that as well is that normally it's within touching distance, so if you've got a question about the film or about them in general, you can just pause it and ask them about it. I started doing park runs recently. Is anyone here do park runs? Yeah, I knew that. Yeah. Park runs are cool because when you first do a park run, like the organisers, they'll say, "Oh, is it anyone's first time?" And it was my first time. I said, "Yeah, it was." And everyone gave me a nice round of applause, and that felt nice. So I just do that every time. I like the attention. But they've sort of cottoned on to me a bit, so I've had to start wearing disguises to get around it. And that's why I shave my head actually, because now every week my hair's a little bit longer, so they can't tell it's me. Park runs are annoying though. I fucking hate park runs because you just have like an arch rival, and it's just this 11-year-old called Taylor. The joke's on Taylor really, because I've already done my GCSEs. And my mum's not a total bitch that yells at strangers just because they pushed her son over. I play the win. One thing I feel like you guys should know about me is that I'm a single mother. I'm a single mother to a 15-year-old. He's called David Beckham Jr. And no, his dad's not in the picture. I'm trying not to talk about it. It's funny, the first thing everyone says to me when I tell them I'm a single mother is that you don't look like a single mother. I say thank you, I've been going to the gym for like 2 years now, so I've put in a lot of work really. But it's tough being a parent, it really is. You know, because kids, they really think they're the first to do anything. DBJ's at that age now. He's starting to rebel and that sort of thing. And I get it, you know, I was there myself like 8 years ago, but he doesn't know that really, and he's just sort of, he just thinks mum's a bit of a square that doesn't really get it, really. I'm pretty pleased with the relationship that I've got with him nowadays though. He's going to a fine young man, and we're quite open with each other. I like that. He comes to me with like, you know, relationship troubles and that sort of thing, and that's wicked for me. So I asked him, I said, Dave, can I tell you a story on stage? I've got this one anecdote that I'd like to say. I said, Dave, can I tell the story on stage? He said, Mum, of course you can. So this is that story. We were summering in southern Italy last summer. I was in the study reading, smoking a cigarette, and Dave came to the door, he knocked on the door and said, come in. And so his eyes were red. I was like, oh, Dave Beckham Jr., what's wrong? And but I sort of knew what was wrong. You see, that summer also staying with us was one of my architecture students. He was staying with us. Come on, be serious. One of my architecture students, he was staying with us to write his manuscript, and noticed that him and my son had sort of struck up a bond, really. I didn't say anything, it wasn't my place, but I knew it was happening, and then he had to go back to America, to Harvard, to finish his doctorate, and David Beckham Jr. was really heartbroken by that, and he did not know what to do with all these emotions and feelings that he had, so I just said to him, just feel it. We tear so much of ourselves apart to be cured of things faster that we're bankrupt by 30 and have less to offer each time we start with someone new. Our hearts and our minds, they come into us only once. And to feel nothing instead of feeling something, what a waste. You know, so right now there's pain, but just to be rid of it, to be rid of all the joy that experience brought you. And he nodded, and I wiped a tear off his cheek the way only a mother really can. And just sort of sat there for a while. Is anyone else doing dry Jan? That joke works better in January. Yeah, I tried to do dry Jan, and I sort of ran out of cocaine, so it got quite difficult. I'll tell you a little story. When I was at university, I invited a drug dealer into my home, not because I fancied him. It was raining. He had drugs for me. So I invited him into my home. We're in the living room, and he says to me, he said, "Lad, I'm taking that telly with me." We were in Liverpool, so that accent wasn't out of place. So I said to him, "Lad, I'd rather you didn't," because I code switch sometimes. And he looks at me and he says, "Yeah, that's a nice." I'm not doing the accent. He said, "That's a nice telly." I said, "Thanks. It's my roommate's. He's a ninja." Because I sort of knew I had to keep it verbal, because this guy was like 6'5", about 100 kilos, and I wear glasses, so I knew the physical aspect wasn't on my side really. But it didn't deter him from taking my telly. Then when my roommate came back, I just tried to gaslight him into, we never had a telly. That didn't work. He threw a ninja star at my head. My friends think I'm a bit of a nerd. And I say to them, "Oh yeah, would a nerd have a gambling addiction?" And they say, we're not really sure, to be honest. And what doesn't help my case though is that I bet on esports, so it's probably about the geekiest thing you could bet on, really. But I doubled down, which didn't help my case either, gambling term. And I said, "Would a nerd have won £200 gambling this weekend?" And they said, "Well, yeah, probably." And I said, "Well, I'm not a nerd then, because I lost £200." Thanks to you, you've been cool, man.